Yeah, I'm here. What's up? How you doing? Me, I'm just catching up on some homework assignments for the San Francisco Art Academy. That's about it. I've also been doing a lot of research on real-time film cinematics for Unreal Engine and for Unity, and really kind of like, what's the word to explain it? I'm just kind of shocked that a lot more people are not actually using this. Mm. Yeah, the only thing I'm probably having a problem with is probably because the technology is kind of new, and then you got Unreal on one side, which is Epic, and you got Unity on the other side. Both of these major companies are just now putting a lot of tools in there for the actual film industry. I say over the last year or two, they've been really trying to convince people that you can now do real time animation that looks just as good as a CGI or anything like that. Now, I'm not crazy. I know it doesn't look 100% like CGI, but the whole idea is they're closing the gap. Is getting smaller, smaller, and smaller in between CGI and real time animation. Mhm. Mhm. Right, right now, when I sent you the, I think I sent you the video for Fortnite, and I think that Fortnite example was amazing because they showed off a lot of stuff in that cinematic trailer, and I was kind of shocked because I saw the Ninja Turtle animation. I'm not sure if you've seen it before, but I think it came out probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Ninja, all right, so they did a animation that looked it pretty good, and I can honestly say that the trailer from Epic Fortnite looks better than the cinematics of the Ninja Turtle movie. Now, now I will say this here: they do have shortcuts and they avoid certain things when doing real time, like crowds of people and all of that, because then you got to have millions and millions of triangles and things like that. But what a lot of people don't understand is just because you're doing the rendering of the graphics inside of real time, you can still take it into a program like After Effects afterwards, and actually kind of play around and add more scenes of crowds and all of that inside of your well, no, I think they would call that, no, they wouldn't call it post production. They would call it get what you call it when you're towards the end of your production pipeline. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Um, I mean, because dude, man, like I'm getting really impressed. I'm sure some of the people out there have seen this trailer by Unity. I think it's called Adam or something like that. And dude, the freaking trailer is amazing. It's really amazing. And the fact that you can do real time lighting, you can pretty much do things on the fly that you cannot do in the actual real movie productions. Because in a real movie production, such as a movie like Toy Stories or what's that other one? Big Hero 6, I think it's called, or whatever. It's like you have to render out a scene, then you have to go back and you have to fix things. Then you have to render it out again. But when you're using real time lighting, you see things exactly how it's supposed to look. So it's way different pipeline, meaning you're cutting down not on hours, not on weeks, but months of productions, probably even a year off of your production pipeline. Because some of these animations be taking about 2 years to create. But when you use it real time, man, oh my God, you save a lot of money, a lot of money. Because technically, all you really have to have is a really good computer, not two computers, right? Because you don't have to have two computers, three computers. You don't have to have all of these servers and things like that. All you need is just really one good computer that can handle things. And that's about it. I mean, I think it's freaking amazing, man. And I know a lot of people that really didn't go into animation just for the simple fact they don't want to work on a team that has 100 people or 50 people or 200 people. Because if you see any Toy Story or anything like How to Train a Dragon, when you get to the end credits, man, it's ridiculous. I mean, it'll have like people on this area, 100 people on this team, 100 people on that team. I mean, it's it's massive. Now, I'm not sure if you remember a couple of years ago, everybody on Facebook was changing a profile picture to green or blue or something like that. All right, so what happened was the Hollywood industry was not paying animators and CG artists. Right, right, right. Exactly. Yeah, and not only that, what they would do is they would go overseas and they would hire somebody cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole lot cheaper with so so a lot of people get obsessed over that. Well, I'm not going to say obsessed. A lot of people were upset over it, which I would have been upset too if I knew I was hireable. But they was like, let's go to this poor country over here or whatever, where they don't have a lot of stuff, and we paid them $10 an hour to do some concepts or whatever. And so, yeah, yeah. So a lot of people were very upset about that. But this here with the video game, like the actual video game engines like Unreal and like Unity or whatever and stuff like that, it can change a lot because now animators and other people can get together and they can cut out the middleman, which is these powerhouse film companies, and they can create things on more of a indie level, which is really hard to do an indie level short film of animation because you got to have a lot of money. Because I mean, like, if you look at DreamWorks, yes, like if you look at DreamWorks or whatever, I mean, they have rooms full of servers. I mean, like rooms, like I'm not even talking about like 100 servers and stuff like that. I'm talking about like 200 servers just to render images and all of that, where things are going to be different. Because instead of having 3 or 4 rooms of just pure servers, now you can have one computer and do everything real time. So a lot of things are going to change, man. A lot of things. Cost is going to change big time and stuff. So me, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Like I was always that guy was like, nah, I don't want to do animation because I heard it's a lot of stuff you gotta have. You gotta have a lot of money if you want to get into animation and stuff like that. But now it's, I mean, true, but you always hear of indie video game companies. You have a lot of them. But when you're talking about indie film companies for short films, animations, or whatever, yeah, it's kind of hard because you have to have a lot of money to render stuff out and stuff. And like I'm talking about a lot of money, man. I mean, I think a couple of years ago when I was thinking about getting into animation or whatever and stuff, and I was looking at a computer rig or whatever. I think it was the Hewlett Packard does something for, it's called the Z800. I think they got a Z850 now, a Z900, and a Z1000, which is pretty much a workstation or whatever. And these workstations, you can put like 150 gigs of memory, 250 gigs of memory. And like you can go on the Hewlett Packard website and build these workstations. These workstations are dedicated towards huge movie production companies. And these, dude, I built one because they allow you to actually build it on their website. Dude, I built one. It was up to $150,000. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, dude. It costs a lot of money. Exactly. So I really like where this is going. I will say this here from what I saw, obviously, Unreal is the most powerhouse when it comes to graphics. Unity is slowly closing the gap because they have a lot of investors into it. So, and not only that, they make a lot of money off of their video game engine. So they're getting huge. But Unreal, they're really good at materials. They're really good at shaders and all of that. I mean, some of the best I've ever seen. But over these last couple of years, Unity has been closing a gap. So now I'm starting to look at it such as like both of these companies are trying to push doing doing real time film animation. Unreal is pushing it and Unity is pushing it. But from what I'm seeing the most, it seems like Unity is pushing it a little bit harder and stuff. And they know how to advertise really good. Because that Adam trailer or whatever, like I looked at it or whatever, like I look at the Islander, it has millions of views. And I read the comment section, and in the comment section, people was like, I want a movie out of this. Like everybody was like, I want a full-length movie. I will pay for it and stuff like that. So Unity, they really know how to market. They really know how to market really good. When they yes, yes. I mean, they're doing an excellent job with it. And things like that. I do think Unreal need a little bit more work, and I couldn't find a lot of tutorials on how to actually do it on the Unreal. But Unity, because they have a huge fan base, they have a bigger market, and they have more tutorials on how to actually do it. Because today I was trying to learn the pipeline, but inside of Unreal Engine, it's like a lot of people don't know what they're doing. A lot of people don't know how to do it. But when I looked up Unity, there was hundreds and hundreds of videos on how to. I mean, so yeah, man. I mean, I think this is huge, man. Um, you have the new Xbox coming out and stuff like that, and the PlayStation, what is it? PlayStation Pro. Um, they just came out a couple of months ago or whatever and stuff. These systems are getting more and more powerful, and these computers are getting more powerful. I think they're on the 1080 graphic cards now. They had the 980s, then they went up to the 1070s. Now they up to the 1080s and things like that, man. Oh God, like these like hardware is just getting a whole lot powerful now. And just the whole idea of doing real-time cinematics, there's a lot of room for VR because you can actually get your VR headset and jump in the experience. So that's amazing, freaking amazing, like cutting edge technology and stuff. But when I was even back when I went to the Art Institute years ago, like none of this stuff was available. None of it. Yeah, man. I'm talking about like, I mean, like it's kind of like if if Michelangelo knew about Photoshop, you know what I'm saying? He would be like, "Whoa!" See, but here's the thing here: like you have these old farts, which I guess we are both probably considered to be now. But but it's like people love to hate on each other. Like when people was doing oil paintings and all of that stuff, then you had people that came out with photography. Then they was doing actual portraits, but they was doing it through photography. So you had all of the oil painters like, oh, you guys are not real artists. You're using cameras to catch of your art. You're not as good as us. We use oil painters. Then you got your Photoshop people that came out or whatever. Then you got your photography people hating on the Photoshop people. I don't need Photoshop. I can just take it with a camera and never even go into Photoshop. I mean, so you have this like this I mean, I guess you could say it happens with every generation or whatever, where people say, back in my days, right, right. But I always had this attitude, I want to be on the cutting edge of technology. That's me. And I truly believe if Michelangelo knew about Photoshop, if Da Vinci, like if all of them knew about Photoshop, I guarantee you they would have a Wacom Cintiq, they will have a pen in their head, and they would be doing artwork through there and all of that stuff. But some people have this idea, they're like, oh, you have to hate the people that's before you and all of that stuff, or after you, or something like that. No, it's art. It's supposed to progress. That's what it's supposed to do. I didn't hear that last part. You said what? Kids painting? Exactly. That's the whole idea, man. You have to push, man. You got to push for it. Technology is amazing. Exactly, man. And yeah, kind of how you just said that about art fundamentals. Like people have this idea in order to learn the fundamentals of art, you have to do it with traditional art media. That's not true anymore. You can do fundamental art, and a lot of people hate it, but it's true. You can learn how to draw on a computer. You can understand color theory on an actual computer. They have programs out there today. You know what I'm saying? Now, people might say, well, I recommend you learn with a pencil and a paintbrush, but that's just their preference and things like that. But you can learn the fundamentals of art through a computer hardware and stuff like that. Cause like I honestly believe there's an art museum in Chicago. It's called the Art Institute or whatever. It's very famous. Like, oh man, like some of the most amazing art has been through that museum. And when I go up in there, man, I see paintings that are like 20 feet tall or 100 feet tall and like oils and all of that stuff. And I'm telling you, in 2000 and like 58 or whatever, art galleries are going to be VR. I mean, everything is going to change. I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. Uh huh. Oh, I have no idea. Something went wrong with the hangout room and it just kind of it started acting weird. It was weird. You said something about we was talking about the art museum. Okay, right. There we go. Right. Uh huh. Right. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. I mean like, could you imagine going into an art museum instead of actual like, let's say you was doing you was this amazing ZBrush artist, all right? And you had like all of these huge sculptures of like orgs and all of that, you know what I'm saying? But you didn't have no way to show it all in a 3D format where people can walk around. So you purchase this hologram or whatever, or the museum purchased the holograms or whatever. And these holograms are not like 2K or 4K, they're like 28K holograms. And basically, you put your ZBrush art up through the hologram and you get a 360 view. Now, I'm not talking about no transparent hologram. I'm talking about a hologram that's so strong or whatever, like you actually think it's there, like it's actually there in front of you. And this is a whole art exhibit. So if you did a orc that was supposed to be about 20 feet tall or whatever, he was just like a massive orc or whatever and all of that. You yes, exactly. Right. And like could you imagine going to a haunted house, right? Where they did that also. You talking about Sketchfab? Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm, right. 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 And of course, you know, I have the HTC Vive or whatever, and I've tried out Sketchfab through there and stuff. And there's a part where you can look at artwork that's from over there in Italy somewhere or whatever and stuff. And you can walk up to a sculpture that Michelangelo did or whatever, and it feels like you're actually there and you're looking at it, and it's based off of the same scale of the actual sculpture, and you're in front of it. Exactly. I mean, dude, like I saw a T Rex. Now you can go to a museum and look at the bones of a T-Rex, right? Or you can go to the museum and they can do a actual sculpture and they can right, right, and they can make it look like a T-Rex. But inside of VR though, when this T-Rex comes for you, right, and like they actually animate it out. So this right, right. So the T-Rex comes towards you and he open his mouth, and his mouth is bigger than your whole body. I mean, like his mouth is bigger than your whole body, and you're just sitting there. You're actually feeling the experience of what a T-Rex used to be if you was around back in those days. Mhm. Exactly. Right. Right. And right, right. And not try to be like a super tree hugger or whatever and stuff, but I don't really like going to an actual zoo because I think the animals look sad and they don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So like I have this feeling, well, how about make a VR zoo where we don't have to actually trap the animals, we can just film them in their natural habitat or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that'll be the end of it. Right. Exactly, man. And like that's kind of like how I kind of just how I feel about the whole like VR thing. Cause like I think VR would be amazing for like hospitals and things like that, children's hospitals and things like that. I mean, when you have or whatever, and he's sitting there and he has cancer or something like that, and he can never go outside. I mean, you have people that's allergic to oxygen almost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have people out there, right? Exactly, man. Right. I completely. Yep. 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 I completely agree with that, man. And stuff. Like most people when they think of video games or whatever and stuff. I had asthma when I was younger and all that, so I couldn't play any sports because I had asthma like really bad. And I remember, hmm, like, man, I remember going to like the hospital and things like that, and like they had video games inside of the hospital that made my day. It was like I'm talking about, it was freaking amazing because I couldn't go outside and play, but they had a Nintendo Master System or whatever and things like that. You know what I'm saying? No. That was the Sega Master System. But I mean, like they had like all of these game systems and all of that stuff. Because like when people think of video games, they automatically think of couch potato. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's just sitting there playing video games. But I mean, dude, man, like my son has been playing video games since probably 7 months or whatever and stuff. And my son is one of the best kids at his school or whatever and things like that. I mean, his vocabulary is so huge because of video games and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And like he's in the what grade? He's in the second grade with a sixth grade reading level, you know what I'm saying? And he has a sixth grade reading level because of video games. And like I literally know this. It's because of video games. Oh, because even when he was younger or whatever and things like that, I would watch him play the video games and he knew what each word mean before he even got into preschool and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like, well, I didn't teach him how to read this. But when you play video games, you see things over and over again and you hear things. So if you see the yeah, so like if you see the word Sonic and you see it multiple times and you keep on hearing things like Sonic, Super Sonic, Sonic, he runs real fast and stuff. So like he just start putting two and two together, you know what I'm saying? And his vocabulary expanded off of video games and things like that because he knew what Super Mario was and things like that. So an average kid couldn't spell out Mario or spell out Sonic, but he could because he's seen it so many times or whatever. Exactly. So like, yep. Because I have videos on Facebook of him getting like awards and all of that stuff and things like that, and then they're like, he's amazing, he know how to do this and he can do this, and he's only 6 years old or he's only 4 years old, and things like that. But like, I mean, he got a lot of it from video games, but us growing up, we didn't know a lot about video games. So our parents was like, video games are evil. It'll rot in your brain, you know? I mean, just like all of this crazy stuff and things like that. But like my son, he can understand it and he can comprehend it, man. And stuff like that. So I let him play what he want to play or whatever. And until it starts hurting him, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that because it's not hurting him, it's making him better. Exactly. Right. That's how I look at it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, he's doing some amazing stuff or whatever. I mean, he's like the teacher's pet or whatever and stuff like that, even though he don't. Uh-huh. But yeah, man, it's like a lot of people hate on video games and all that stuff, but man, I, like, do you know how much text I have probably read from playing Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, and 4? I mean, that's a huge vocabulary of stuff you have to read and actually understand. So even when I was growing up or whatever and things like that, like I literally felt that video games taught me a lot of stuff that teachers didn't even teach me. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there like, wow. Right. Pretty much video games rule. And what are you doing right now? Oh yeah, right. That's right. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. These look good. So is this like a grenade? Uh. Uh-huh. Right, right. Yeah. Mhm, mhm. Oh yeah, this is cool. What's up with the Power Ranger post you got going on? I actually like the design from the first Power Ranger movie. I just didn't like the bad guy character or the plot or the storyline. Hmm? I can't believe that new Xbox One X will be out next week, pretty much. Ah, this would be probably the first console launch I've ever missed before. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's just like I don't see the need to go and get one when my computer is still powerful than the console. So yeah, see, I play consoles just because I like playing video games. Consoles have exclusives that you won't see on the computer, so I have to play certain. Uh-huh. Uh, yeah, I know I used to. I kind of got away from them. Hold on. Are you talking about the? Hold on. You talking about the new Doom or the? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've played that already. It feels more like Quake to me than anything. Uh, yeah, but like to me, well, I guess to me, I was looking at it from a point of view of what makes people like playing Doom they kind of left out or whatever, and kind of because like when I was growing up, it was always, hey, do you play Quake or do you play Doom? You know what I'm saying? And things like that. Mm. Uh, right. Uh-huh. Hmm. Right. You ever play? You ever play Wolfenstein before? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like I guess you can't get enough of killing Nazis. Like, I mean, that whole game is about just killing Nazis. It's hilarious. Yeah, like they came out with a new sniper game, I think probably last year, whatever, which it all goes around trying to snipe Hitler, I guess you can say. They got the new Call of Duty, which is based off of World War II, which comes out this week or whatever. And I'm thinking that one's about trying to kill Hitler also. It's like they got a whole bunch of games coming out now that's all about killing Hitler. Have I seen Glorious Bastards? Yes, I've seen. Yes, I have seen Glorious. Uh, oh yeah, I liked it. Glorious Bastards was pretty good. The freaking acting in that was superb. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Right. Now this is based off of your novel, right? Right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Now I noticed you said like African French. Uh-huh, uh-huh, hmm, cool. Huh? Mm, mm, mm. So is the main character black? Uh-huh. Uh, mhm. How long have you had this idea in your head? Oh, mhm, mhm, mhm. Right. Mm. Right, all right, all right, all right. Oh yeah, and like more and more and more, it's like I mean, cause like obviously, like I love video games. I think making video games is cool or whatever and stuff. But you know how when you let's say you got on your YouTube channel and you're watching a person play a video game that you really, 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 really like. Okay, let's say you created it though, and when he's playing the game, he's not playing it how you're supposed to play it, and you're thinking like, "Oh, you're messing up the game, you idiot! That's not how you're supposed to play it." So that's kind of my mind frame when it comes to making video games. I love to make video games, but I do hate how some people play certain types of video games. That's why I really love animation also because it's story driven and you can't actually play it. Right. And you control the experience because you're only supposed to experience this way. It's just because, like, I've seen people play video games and I'm sitting here like, that's not the way it's meant to be played, man. Uh-huh. I mean, see, yeah, but I guess you could say me and you both are older, and we're used to playing driven story video games, where nowadays they give the player all of the control. You can go here or you can go there. It's an open map. You can go wherever you want to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can do whatever you want to do. But if you remember back in the days or whatever, you can only go in one direction. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. And stuff like that. Not saying that I would like all video games to be like that, but I just miss those role playing games that are driven by story and stuff like that. Now it's like give him all the options that he can do whatever he want to do. We're not going to have any cut scenes in it or anything because he can do whatever he want to do and things like that. You know, because like right, right. Well, now, don't get me wrong. There's always the time and place, you know what I'm saying, for certain types of video games. Because some video games I want to have complete control over, like Elder Scroll or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody controlling nothing. It's like, hey, just give me the controller. I want to be able to go wherever I want to go. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, cause you know how with if you go and you watch a movie and it has a dramatic camera angle, well, that camera angle was set up that way for it to be dramatic. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with some video games, when it's open world, it takes away some of that experience because you're controlling your camera the whole time or whatever and things like that. So you might experience it different than how I experienced it because my camera angle was different than your camera angle and stuff. And like that kind of plays an effect with Resident Evil games. If you look at the Resident Evil games, the older Resident Evil games, you were on a constraint camera. You had to look in that direction to get your scare. But nowadays, it's like you can be turned at an angle and somebody hops out at you and you didn't even see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, oh, I missed the scare because I wasn't turned around the correct way or whatever, you know. But it's just something about when the camera forces you to look in one direction back and it's like a roller coaster or whatever. Uh-huh. Hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's just I'm just like, I don't know, it's like this. I'm not trying to sound depressing on your video feed, but it's like ever since I started to look into these real time cinematics and stuff like that, I think you the one that get me started to look into these things or whatever. But it's like ever since it's like, wow, I didn't know you can do this. It's like, I mean, well, it's depressing from a point of view. Like, okay, like for instance, you said you like drawing on, you prefer drawing with your pencil or whatever and stuff, right? Than drawing on your screen. But what if pencil was so relevant today? You know what I'm saying? Like, like, like I went to school always to do game design and certain things like that. And it's like I always thought I wanted to do animation, but I didn't want to be one of those guys at the end of the credits, right? You see your name out of 3,000 people. And it's like, really? All I did was I made this guy finger go that way. And that's all I did. Like I know people that have worked in the movie industry and their whole job was to make a person eye for CGI. That was it. That was the only thing he contributed to that whole film. And you're bunched in there with thousands of other people on the credit and things. So like it doesn't really feel like it's your artwork, if you know what I mean. Like feels like it's yours. It feels like uh-huh. Right. Right. I mean, because like I don't know, it's just I would be very depressed if I was that one person in the credits. You know, like, hey, I made that finger move right there. Look what I did, son. He's like, oh, is that all you did? Yep, I made that one little finger go that did. Like, I mean, yeah, people do the same thing. It's just anything that I do, I want it to be worth something. You know what I'm saying? I want people to be like, hey, he did that. That's what he did. And just the whole idea of having your own ideas. Well, well, see, but I'm not even talking about from that point of view. I'm talking about it from a point of view of when people was going on strikes and stuff like that in the visual effects and things like that. Is that you have a person, right? He has all of the money. And this one person, he don't care about the animation at all. He just want to return on his investment. He doesn't even like cartoons. He's never seen none of the films you guys actually created. You're just one of his minions or whatever that's helping him make a video game. Helping him create a full length animation and stuff. That's why I like smaller indie teams or whatever, even PixArt. Like I heard amazing things about them and stuff. And they have a and no, they're not small because they have to outsource a lot of things, but they're so hands on though. It's like when you see something like a Avengers movie and there's 20,000 people in the credit or whatever, but Pixar might hire some people to do the concept artwork and things like that. It's just like all of the like most people at PixArt, they love doing what they're doing. This is what they have always dreamed of doing. Where I feel like in some other areas of animation, you can tell that there's a disconnect or whatever with the audience or whatever and stuff. Like listen to their audience. Where you have a people like Acclaim or Activision or something like that that does Call of Duties, they'll put out the same thing every year, knowing that their audience are asking for something else. But it doesn't matter because you have these big heads on top everything on the bottom or whatever. They're like, look, we don't care about the audience. Just put some more zombies on the screen. We ain't got time with all of this and stuff, but just put the product out. Then you get the same video game every year, the same game, just a little bit of tweaks, but it's the same games. Where Nintendo, you can tell Nintendo know what they're doing. The Super Mario game that just came out, are getting rave reviews. On IGN, it got a perfect 10. They said classic. They said classic game of the year. Huh? Man, it's just you can tell like some games you can tell where somebody put their heart into it. They put their like it's innovating. The gameplay mechanics were built a certain type of way. But when you play Call of Duty, it's like, oh, same shit as last year. You know, it is like, yep, same thing as last year again, or whatever and stuff. But like, well, it depends. With Call of Duty, you have two different crowds or whatever. You have one crowd that play competitive and they play for like esports and things like that. They don't really want you to change a lot of things because they're already used to it. You know what I'm saying? And they play competitively and they don't want to learn anything new. But then you have the other crowd that love Call of Duty where they want something different. They love the games, but they want something different or whatever, and things like that. Now, if you saw the last Call of Duty trailer, not the one that's based off of World War II, the futuristic one, well, the fan base pushed back. They had just as many dislikes as likes on their Call of Duty trailer because people was like, "This is bull crap. Y'all doing the same stuff every year. We want something new." So I read the comment section. The whole fan base was just going crazy. I don't want to play this crap. Blah 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 and stuff like that because they're not like they're no longer listening to their fan base anymore. You know what I'm saying? They're like, "Look, just put this out so we can make money." You know what I'm saying? And like that's it. And like I think it's very important to listen to your fan base. A good example, League of Legends. They really listen to their fan base. Like really listen, man. I mean, you have to listen to that fan base. But some companies are so huge, there's a disconnect or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a huge disconnect because you have people on top that they don't care about video games or whatever and stuff. They like, hey, just put some zombies in it. It's a wrap. Let's go. Next game or whatever and things like that. I mean, like Nintendo is just so different, man. They're so different because it takes them a long time to put out a video game, and their teams are not as huge as these other companies. Like Nintendo has always been closed off or whatever and things like that. Like you never hear of Nintendo footage actually being leaked out or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you never hear that about Nintendo or whatever and stuff because they are closed, tight family. And that's what I love about indie developers also, because they're willing to take chances, new, innovating, and things like that. Where you got a lot of people out there, man, they like, we're just gonna give you the same thing next year with some icing on the top and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think it's like very important, man, for us to have something fresh, something new or whatever. But then that's just me, you know. I could be a party pooper. Mm-mm. Mobile name is true. Yeah, but I'll probably spend some more time looking through Unity and Unreal to see which one is the best fit. Because I personally believe that both of them are slowly going into film, and Unity is pushing forward. What do you mean? Mm. It's stuff because, like, man, it's like I saw. I think yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, that Fortnite trailer really impressed me. That Fortnite trailer really kind of caught me off guard. Yeah. Well, right now we got the free version part. You got to pay 25 for the deluxe, and for the no, it costs, yeah, yeah, like the actual game itself is free, but if you want all of the content, you gotta pay for it. I think the highest paid of the content, I think it costs $80 or something like that. I notice a lot of these places don't have Halloween on the day Halloween is supposed to be on. It's like every place is different. Are you taking your kid trick or treat? Or she too young? Yeah, I'm thinking about going to the mall this time. Hold on one second. No, it's just some like a lot of the malls nowadays because they think it's safer to trick or treat inside of the mall or whatever, and they can get a lot of customers in there. So they have some type of event where your kids can come to the mall where it's safer and where all of the candy is not going to be open or anything like that because you have mall employees passing them out and things like that. Because like there's all type of weirdos out there and stuff that'll put stuff in your candy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but even though then or whatever and stuff, that doesn't matter. Like it can be. Uh, yeah, because like I live in like this area or whatever where mostly none of the people in our area trick or treat, but all the kids from other areas come to our area to trick or treat. I used to be like really huge into Halloween. Like I'm talking about like Halloween was everything to me. But then they kind of turned it into like a superhero type of thing and stuff where people dress up as Ninja Turtles and stuff. But when I was growing up, people would dress up as monsters and vampires. It has completely changed. Oh man. Let me see. That'd be a hard one. Probably be Dracula. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, Dracula was pretty cool. At least I thought Dracula was pretty cool. Dracula. But yeah, Halloween was different when I was growing up. But it has dramatically changed into just superheroes coming at your front door. Like I can tell you, I mean, well, it's not Halloween. That's not Halloween at all. That's something else. That's cosplay. That's what that is. It turns into cosplay and stuff. Yep, it turns into cosplay. Yeah, yeah, that's actually probably the best example. Probably be cosplay. That's what it turned into. People have ruined it. Oh yes, they completely ruined it.
Can I have some water?
You said some water. The baseball cup. You start. I mean, if you're talking about going back into the pagans and stuff like that, I mean, yes, it is definitely different. Ow, I just bumped my elbow. Oh, my funny bone. Ouch. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Yes, I am. Oh, God. Oh, okay, I'm good. Oof, I thought I was a goner for a minute there. Oof. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Anti-inflammatory? Uh-huh. Yeah, but I still don't think nothing's more sensitive than the you know what area. Nothing. I'm just saying, like nothing tops that pain threshold or whatever. Like I just think that's just beyond pain. That's like ground. Yeah. 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 Nothing tops that. Shit. Well, I know with myself. or whatever and stuff. You're just talking about a different, like you're just talking about a certain type of pain. There's many different types of pain. You're talking about blunt pain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's all different types of pain when it comes to the ground area or whatever and stuff. Like, freaking paper cut down there or something. You know what I'm saying? Even though, it says something like that. No, I've had something similar to a zipper and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, so when I'm talking about pain, but yeah, that's more the type of pain I'm talking about. I'm talking about. I mean, it is way more sensitive or whatever stuff like that. So yeah, so when I mean pain, I'm talking about not just like a kick in the balls. Nah. No, no. Yes, but when you get kicked in the nuts, when you get kicked in the nuts, you know what I'm saying? That takes pain. That's a that's a vibration. All right, that's pain though. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, that's yeah. Uh, but here's the difference with tooth pain. Tooth pain is something you can also get used to. You understand what I'm saying? Oh no, I have gotten used to it before. I know people that don't have any dental plan and stuff. It's like over time or whatever and stuff. You're like, okay, mhm, mm, mm. Let's just say pain really sucks. See, man, you say burn. We was just talking about penis. I'm thinking you're talking about a girl burns you. You know, so I thought you were talking about like STD burn. uh, I mean, I'm just saying that's why I said that there's different types of pain when it comes to the grind area. I mean, I have cousins and things like that that had to, go through stuff. They had to go through stuff. Boy, I'm talking about that. That's what I'm telling you. Like, cause which you know what I'm saying, of course I'm not gonna say nobody's name, but my one male cousin or whatever and stuff, he got I forget the name of the urinary contraction. It's called gonorrhea or whatever and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which gonorrhea is curable, but it's curable. Okay, so it's something that is curable. It doesn't, you know, it's just you have to get it fixed or whatever. That's what I mean by pain, because there's so many different types of pain or whatever and things like that. Because when you said burning, that's what people say, you know, when they talk about things like that. But oh, dude, that girl burnt you. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Uh, yeah, my mom got burnt or whatever and stuff like that. Grease fire. Like 80% of her body was burnt. Nah, yeah, I'm serious as hell. 80% of her body was burnt, and she's yeah. And this was happened before any of us was even born. I think. I mean, of course, that ain't about to go away. I mean, def- I mean, yeah, because yeah, because grease fire burns is like some of the worst type of burn you can get. You know what I'm saying? Like if your skin is getting burnt through fire or whatever, grease is worse. You know what I'm saying? Like grease goes like straight through the skin and it eats it or whatever and stuff. Where fire has to kind of catch fire, it has to heat up your skin and things like that. But yeah, grease burns are like I mean, like put it this way here. Um you would rather be set on fire than to be slowly dipped into lava. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, of course. Of course. Of course. But yeah, man. Yeah, man, that like heat is no joke or whatever. I mean, that's like the guy from what's the name of that movie, Fast and Furious or whatever, which I should have never watched that video or whatever. Like there's an image of the video of like somebody trying to get out the car and you can see them or whatever, and like, oh God, are you serious? You never heard of that? Okay. All right, so you do know who I'm talking about, right?
Can you search emoji pin?
Right. Yes. 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 That was good. Yeah. Well, the car accident was not on camera, but somebody filmed him on fire trying to get out the car. I mean, the same reason we watch a lot of stuff. I guess you could say or whatever stuff. Well, like in the video, it said that you can see him getting out of the car, or whatever. People kind of caught on that there was a silhouette of an actual person in the fire, and when you look really close, you can see he was trying to get from the car, but you couldn't see nothing because he looked at like the flaming torch on Fantastic Four. Yeah, the other part was not right. Right.
It's gonna be Sharpie, Sharpie, Sharpie. It's Sharpie.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, like crazy things out there happens when it comes to just freak accidents and stuff like that, like just horrific things. It's freaking literally horrific. Hold on, let me see. Gotta go to my Facebook to check this out. All right, you talking about the guns, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do? You changed the color? Okay, I see. I see what you did there. I see, I see, I see. Are you gonna put any like highlights on them and stuff, or it's just gonna be like that?
Like a little bit.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to do things like this through ZBrush? Yeah, because what I do when I do weapons, is I start off in 3D, then I drop it down into Photoshop. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, well, it don't even have to be ZBrush. It could be any 3D program or whatever and stuff where you can pretty much get an edge loop or whatever and make a silhouettes and things like that. Oh yeah. I should have did me some guns. I haven't did guns in a while. Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. You're pretty cool. Uh-huh. So you said you consider this to be sci-fi or fantasy, or what did you say? But do you still put it into sci-fi or fantasy? Mm, mm. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I hate doing geometry on weapons, like doing retopology and shit. Like you really gotta. Yeah, it's like well in ZBrush, I can definitely tell you, it's all about starting off high, then doing retopology over your high or whatever to get it back low. Uh-huh. It's all about starting off high or whatever. It's like eventually you're gonna go high inside of ZBrush. Cause like right there where your grip handle is or whatever, in order to get something like that inside of ZBrush, you would have to bump up the polygon count to get that curve or whatever, and you use what is called the slice curve to slice out different part of your scopes that you don't want there anymore and things like that. See, like you see right there on the back of your gun, like right on the back. Can you get your mouse and point over it? Right there on the back of the gun. On the brown gun. I can't see your mouse for some reason. Is it not recording mouse? Okay, 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 right. That whole shape that goes into the grip part or whatever. That whole back part that goes all the way to the back of the gun, just that whole shape there and stuff. Like people will create brushes inside of ZBrush and turn it into a negative or whatever and stuff, and just subtract that whole part out and things like that. So in ZBrush, you can brainstorm pretty fast. What some people do is they put a cell shaded material on there, so it'll look like a drawing or whatever, and you can subtract it just like that and stuff. But yeah, man, it's this one guy that's really good at using 3D Studio Max or whatever. He uses 3D Studio Max and ZBrush to do a lot of his hard surfacing or whatever, and he does some pretty amazing stuff with it. Stuff. Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. Deep, deep. I wonder how that one on the right hand side bottom is going to look. Yeah, that one would be interesting to look at. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Peace and love. Peace out.